Hi, my name is Olivia Coffey, and I am an Andover alum. When I was at Andover, I played JV soccer, ice hockey, and I was on the rowing team. And this summer, I'll be representing the United States in the women's 8 rowing event at the Tokyo Olympics. So training during a pandemic has gone through a lot of different iterations and phases. Obviously, when the pandemic first started, it was early March. That's when the Olympics were postponed, and nobody really knew what was going on. I certainly didn't. I didn't know I actually had contracted the virus just days before the Olympics were postponed. So the beginning of the pandemic, I was mostly at home trying to recover. It was about 2 months until I felt like myself again and I could start training. So usually I train at a training center with the rest of the United States women competing for a spot on the team. But instead I was training at home alone with some nearby teammates, but mostly alone. I was doing pieces on the water on my local inlet. So I was lucky that I lived near water, and then just kind of erging by myself. And I lifted with a local teacher who lived nearby, which was awesome. And then in October, I came back to the training center to join the group. And unusually, we were all rowing singles, which we don't really do. That's a kind of a one-person boat. Typically, we're in team boats, but because of the pandemic, we had to be separate. And then in the winter, we went out to Chula Vista to the Olympic Training Center out there, and it was a true bubble. So we could actually train how we normally would train, which meant big boats, kind of training with other Olympic athletes, which was really fun. And then when we all got back in the spring, the vaccine was rolling out, and so we could continue training as we would have without a pandemic. So in that respect, the build up to the Olympics has been quite normal with our training. If you think about competition, there's been zero. So it's been a long time since I've raced. So I'm really ready to go for the Olympics. And just intra-squad competition, which the level is very high, but it's not the same as racing against other countries. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so everyone at Andover has to compete in a different sport or some athletic event every term. And for me, that was super helpful. I only rowed in the spring, and I think maybe my senior fall, but being a soccer player, a mediocre soccer player, and then being a hockey player, it gave me really good awareness of my body. And I think it helped me become a better rower. I think, there's a lot of pressure in high school to focus on one sport, but what I think that's really nice about Andover is you get kind of this holistic approach to kind of physical development, so you can focus on lots of different aspects of sports, and it's like skill and it's specificity in what you're doing. But I think that doing a lot of different things, it allows you to kind of have a bigger picture of what athletics is. And it's, it's performance, but it's also health. It's taking care of your body. It's learning, what makes you happy. And I think doing one sport all year wouldn't really yield the same results. So I think that being a multi-sport athlete for as long as you can for your entire life is really, really good. And I think it's something that everybody should do. So my parents were both elite rowers, and my dad is a silver medalist in rowing from the 1976 Olympics. And all 3 of my sisters, they're all older, they went to Andover and they rowed, and they continued rowing in some capacity for the rest of their lives. And so I've always been around the sport. It became my focus because I'm a big girl. I'm 6'1", I'm quite strong, and it just naturally, it really fits with the body. And I just naturally was doing really well at it. And I think that it's a sport that I learned to really, really enjoy. I think when I first started in high school, I thought it was too hard. But then I realized the more work I put in, the faster I got, and that feedback loop is really rewarding and somewhat addicting. And so here I am 16, 17 years later, still rowing. So I would say that it's been a very fulfilling athletic career. So the key factors that help you make a transition from being just, a high school athlete to an Olympic level athlete, it's just a lot of hours. And, rowing is one of those sports where you might be naturally gifted, but to get to the elite level, it's just a grind, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of hours. And so that's, the biggest difference. But what I really like about Andover is they teach you what you need to know in order to be successful in sports later on in life. And, the key factors that I think have really helped me, are kind of, teamwork, even though that's cliche, ability to perform in high pressure situations, which students are put in all the time, and just kind of always striving for excellence and wanting to be very good at what you do and be passionate. And, that's what you learn in high school. And if you continue on that pathway and you keep being passionate, you keep trying hard, you keep being a nice teammate, a good person, and you put the work in, sky's the limit. And fortunately, it worked out for me that I made the team this year. When I first joined the training center, a woman on the team, Lynn, was still training, and she was Andover class of, I want to say 2002. And if you don't know who Caroline is, she's a double Olympic champion. I don't know how many world championships she's won. But immediately when I got to the training center, she's somebody I always looked up to, and somebody I just felt like a connection with because we both had gone to Andover. And I still admire a lot of traits about Caroline. And what I remember about her most is that she raced hard, and she was fast, and she was a fierce competitor. And I only hope that I can mimic that when I'm on the water. And you never wanted to be in a boat against Caroline because you knew she was going to go fast, and you always wanted her in your boat because you knew she was going to go fast. So Caroline she's just somebody I've always really looked up to, and I've always heard about throughout high school and college. And so when I finally got on the national team and I got to train with her, I just felt really, really lucky. And she sees this. I hope she just knows how inspiring she is to not only me as an Andover alum, but literally everybody on the national team now. She's just such a good rower, a good person. Going to the Olympics is the athletic highlight of my career. It's something that I've wanted to do for so long, and in order to get to the Olympics, so many things have to go right that are just totally out of your control. And so there's a lot of hard work and effort, but there's a lot of luck involved in it too. So obviously it's the highlight of my career, but building up into this, I've won 3 world championships in rowing, all in different boat classes, sweep and sculling, which is a little unusual. I competed in 2018 for Cambridge at the Oxford-Cambridge boat race, which was a real highlight for me. I came in, when I think about Andover and my highlights there, I got second at the final championship regatta in rowing. And I was a captain of the hockey team at Andover, so that was a highlight. I was a captain of the rowing team at Harvard, so that was a highlight. But yeah, going to the Olympics is one of those things you'd like dream about forever. And kind of finally making it, you're so relieved. I remember when the team was named, I just started crying because I was so excited. And in 2016, I had also tried out for the team, and I was a spare, and I had come so close and I hadn't made it. And so it was like a mixture of emotions when they finally made the team. I thought, I'm so happy to finally make it. But when I looked around the room and I saw the people that didn't, I was sad for them because I know how that feels. And when you win a race in rowing, you're beating other countries, or at least that's what I do. or, I want to. But when you make a spot on the Olympic team, you're beating your teammates and they're the reason you're fast. So it doesn't feel quite so good, but yeah, I'm going to race hard for them. And, I think they're amazing athletes, and you could put anybody in our boats and they would be good and they'd be fast. And so I just think that the level is so high, and I really respect not only the spares, but the people who didn't make the spare spots as well. I do not have any pre-race rituals. I have a pre-race kind of warm-up routine, and you could count that as a ritual, but I've been doing the same routine for maybe a decade. And so I go through the same exercises, I warm up the same way, and it helps me really focus before a very intense race, and it gives me something that I can rely on and say, I've done this before. Every hard piece I've ever done, if I continue to do this the same way every time, I'm going to get the same result. And so that's what I do before a big race. I guess I don't really have any superstitions. I guess besides drinking coffee, I drink a lot of coffee on race day. Yeah, I guess that's all I do. I don't wash my hair the day before I race because I get too many wispies that blow in the wind. And I don't know if anybody else feels that too, but sometimes that happens in rowing. So don't wash your hair the day before the race. Coffee, I guess I do have some rituals now that I think about it. But yeah, those are the things I do. So many people at Andover. I want to say hi to all my coaches. I want to say hi to Martha Fenton. I want to say hi to Lou Screen, who's not there anymore, but was my rowing coach at Andover, and I love her, and I still talk to her. And I've still got really, really good friends from Andover, and we lived in Day Hall. So shout out to Day Hall 2007. We lived right next to the dining hall, and it was awesome. It was a short walk to breakfast every morning. I feel like I want to say hi basically to everybody at Andover that's still there, that was there when I was there, which is so long ago now, at least that's how it feels. Yeah, I'm just really excited to race at the Olympics and represent Andover and our community, and I just going to Andover made me the athlete that I am. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't have gone there, so, thank you, Andover.